morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha. Let's begin with the main stories. Powerful leaders around the world facing legal prosecution on corruption charges. Culprits in Nepal, however, escaping punishment through power abuse and political cover. Tourism entrepreneurs found charging insurance fees from tourists for their sole benefit, the practice tarnishing the image of Nepal's tourism industry. A man and a woman found unconscious in Wiltshire, UK, found to be poisoned by Novichok, the same nerve agent that poisoned ex-Russian spy Sergei Skripal. And 8-time champion Roger Federer reaches the third round of Wimbledon, defeating Lucas Lacko in straight sets. Williams' sisters also advanced to the third round. Other than a few exceptions, only low-ranking government officers are prosecuted for corruption-related cases in Nepal. Those who are more powerful and influential often escape even allegation, let alone punishment. We have, however, recently been witness to a number of powerful leaders across the world penalized for corruption. Some have even resigned from their positions merely on the basis of accusation, while others have been subject to life in prison with tarnished reputation.
Just recently, former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak, who single-handedly ruled the state politics for more than 6 decades, has been charged with corruption amounting to over $681 million. Police have confiscated jewelries, cash and other precious possessions of Razak that totals $270 million. Many of his relatives are also currently under investigation. It is yet to be seen whether Razak will be convicted. Anyway, the incident has conveyed the message to the world that no one should be treated as being above the law, irrespective of their position, power, or political influence. Razak is the latest example in this respect. Besides Razak, presidents, prime ministers, high-ranking government officials, and even their relatives have been dragged into corruption cases. They have undergone prosecution on the allegations of accumulating property by abusing position and power, mishandling state coffers, and practicing nepotism to provide undue benefits to relatives or professional affiliates. Going by another instance, South Korea's former president Park Geun-hye faced impeachment motion last year on the charges of abuse of power. After being convicted, 66-year-old Park is currently serving her sentence in prison. She was confirmed guilty in 16 different charges, including bribery and illicit leakage of the state's confidential information, among others. Likewise, former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, was compelled to resign after being accused of corruption, while former 3-time Prime Minister of Pakistan, Nawaz Sharif, also had to face impeachment motion. Similarly, former Bangladeshi leader Begum Khalida Zia has been imprisoned as a corruption convict despite serving as a Prime Minister for 10 years. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court of Brazil has sentenced former President Lula da Silva for 12 years in prison in yet another case of corruption. Apart from that, Peru's former president Pedro Pablo is currently facing investigation for corruption. Likewise, presidents, prime ministers, and other influential leaders of Croatia, Portugal, Romania, Israel, Serbia, Montenegro, Malta, and Guatemala, among other countries, were forced out of their political career for being convicted of corruption. It, however, seems incredible that no powerful political leader or high-ranking government official in Nepal has ever been prosecuted for corruption. Questions are raised if each and every one of them have never been involved in corruption of any sort, or they simply never need to face any legal penalty despite involvement. The major ailment that Nepal has contracted for long is corruption instigated at higher governmental level itself and subsequent political cover to save the culprits. Legal experts are of the view that good governance and development would remain to be a far cry in the country unless the rampant practice of abuse of power to safeguard the corrupt will be completely done away with.
There are over 400 community colleges across the country. However, due to the lack of proper management and quality education, the number of students in these community colleges has been declining every year, causing the colleges to consider shutting down. The other reason for the failure of these community colleges is the random establishment of these colleges merely based on political influence and competition. There was a time when Bhaktapur Sanotimi's Adarsh Multiple Campus saw a huge number of students enrolling, almost making it difficult for the college to manage them. The college that was established around 27 years ago with the aim to provide quality higher education now has less than 50 students. Although called a multiple campus, the college has been running classes only for business studies. The college administration is finding it hard to pay its 17 lecturers. According to the University Grant Commission, out of the 1,277 colleges across the country, 350 colleges have less than 50 students, while 100 colleges have less than 100 students. Based on the rules of the University Grant Commission, colleges at the mountainous and hilly region need to have at least 50 students, the Tarai at least 75 students, and colleges at the capital must have a minimum of 100 students to be eligible for the Commission's special grant. While the government invests over 10 billion rupees for higher education, 70% of it is being wasted. Experts have suggested that universities should revise their policies and merge the colleges that are on the brink of shutting down. Furthermore, they have opined that unless the higher education becomes competitive and has quality, the concept of community college will fail. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. In order to cover any medical conditions, injuries, or accidents while traveling, a majority of international tourists get their travel insured. It is the same with tourists visiting Nepal as well. However, recently, the tourism entrepreneurs have been found charging insurance fees from tourists for their sole benefit, which has been affecting the image of Nepal's tourism industry. Nepal's tourism industry has been facing a backlash in the international arena after a few European tourists expressed they were illegally charged insurance fees on social sites. Tourism businesses have been found charging insurance fees from international trekkers intending to visit Nepal's mountainous regions. To make it worse, businesses have been found luring tourists with cheap packages, then creating an environment to make them ill and rescuing them in helicopters. These businesses then present fake bills to the insurance companies to cash in a big amount of money. International insurance companies have officially expressed dissatisfaction to tourism businesses regarding the nexus between trekking agencies, guides, insurance agents, helicopter companies, and hospitals ripping off the tourists. The seriousness of the action is so dreadful that a few insurance companies from Japan, Taiwan, England, and European nations have started denying insurance to those traveling to Nepal. Due to the nexus of the businesses, the amount of tourism insurance has gone up from a minimum of $70 to as much as $1,000. While the Tourism Ministry has already formed a team under the leadership of its Joint Secretary to inquire on the matter, stern actions are required if Nepal is to attain its target of bringing in 2 million tourists by 2020. Welcome back. Yesterday we had asked the students of Law Campus what was their take on the attempt being made to enroll applicants for the 3-year LLB course without publishing the entrance exam results. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
हजारौं विद्यार्थीलाई दुःख दिएर त्यत्रो इन्ट्रान्स प्रक्रिया हो यो एकाएक आएको चाहिँ यो जस गैर कानुनी निर्णय हो भन्छ
कानुन सम्मत प्रक्रिया अगाडि बढाएर परीक्षा लिइसकेपछि हजारौं विद्यार्थीले चाहिँ फर्म भरेका छन् त्यो प्रक्रिया अनुरूप र त्यो प्रक्रियालाई चाहिँ जसरी भए पनि उहाँहरूले टुङ्ग्याउनु पर्थ्यो उहाँहरूले रिजल्ट निकाल्नु पर्थ्यो
विधि मिचेर पाइएन यो कानुन क्याम्पसमा विधि मिचेको हामी यहाँ पढ्दै गर्दा हामी हेर्न सक्दैनौं त्यो चाहिँ
इन्ट्रान्सकै आधारमा चाहिँ सम्पूर्ण विद्यार्थीहरू पढ्न पाउनुपर्छ र यो कलेज प्रशासन भनेको कानुनी कलेज हो यहाँ चाहिँ कानुन अनुसार नै लिगल कुराहरू हुनुपर्छ
कानुनको कलेजमा जहाँ नियमको भरिपूर्ण रूपमा पालना गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ त्यही कलेजमा नियमको खिल्ली उडाइएको छ यहाँ नियम बनाउनेहरूले नियम मिचेका छन्
कानुन भनेको कुरा सबैले पढ्न पाउनुपर्ने कुरा सबैले बुझ्नुपर्ने कुरा हो त्यसकारणले गर्दा कोटा सिस्टम भन्दा सबै विद्यार्थीलाई भर्ना गरेर एउटा चाहिँ ग्रेडिङको हिसाबमा अथवा कसरी हुन्छ यो तुरुन्त व्यवस्था गर्नुपर्छ
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: why has the number of students in community colleges decreased? Your options are A, lack of quality education, B, colleges randomly established, C, irregular classes. The voting is on. Type in EWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Powerful leaders around the world facing legal prosecution on corruption charges. Culprits in Nepal, however, escaping punishment through power abuse and political cover. Tourism entrepreneurs found charging insurance fees from tourists for their sole benefit, the practice tarnishing the image of Nepal's tourism industry. A man and a woman found unconscious in Wiltshire, UK, found to be poisoned by Novichok, the same nerve agent that poisoned ex-Russian spy Sergei Skripal. An 8-time champion, Roger Federer reaches the third round of Wimbledon, defeating Lucas Luka in straight sets. Williams' sisters also advanced to the third round. And that's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will air at 11 this morning. Keep watching Kantipur Television HD for more news and entertainment. Thank you for watching. Have a good morning.